What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the shop. I haven't been videoing much because there's not much to video. A few things that I've kind of accomplished. I already showed you guys the Hydro Boost unit is mounted now. The pedals are in, but I'm going to be doing different pedals. The air intake stuff showed up today. I had to order another part, and I'm working on building the frame for the hood. So it's a lot of set it up there, check the angle, take it down, beat on it with a hammer. I'm getting closer though on both sides. Still a little bit more fine tuning to get on that. Then I got to repeat the process on the grill itself, get frame piece for that. And then I'll make some pieces to tie the two together, and then I'll have to skin it with this 16 gauge. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. I've never built a hood before, so I'm just kind of messing around trying to figure it out, I guess. It's going slow, very slow, but hopefully it turns out in the end, and I don't waste a whole bunch of material, because aluminum's not cheap. Alright, so I got it pretty well shaped. I had to cut a kerf right here and twist that because this hood is not square. So I had to tilt the sides in. I laid another piece of aluminum up here because there will be a frame up here in the front, and then use my 4-foot level to get a straight edge to where it will be straight. And then once I get that there, I can build the frame straight back on both sides to give some strength to all this. So like I said, I'm not videoing this because it's so slow. I mean, I've been bending on that piece for 2 days off and on, so I just I'll keep giving you updates as we go along further. All right, everyone, it's a new day. Sorry I haven't been videoing much. I know I say that quite a bit, but the stuff that I've been doing is just really not that interesting. I will video a little bit of it since I'm just about done and I finally am, getting it figured out. The hard part is trying to find a place to set up to be able to bend it's 1/4 inch thick by 1.5 inches, I believe, aluminum flat bar, and trying to get it to bend with these gradual arches and arcs and radiuses and stuff. It has a memory, and so beating on it with a hammer doesn't get you there very well. It's a combination of holding tension and hitting it with a hammer, and trying to be able to hold it in something strong enough because my vise isn't heavy enough. I finally figured out a way, which is to shove the end of it in the frame rail. Then I can kind of pull on it and beat on it with a hammer and all that good stuff. We got to finish this bend. I just started it, and we got that one yesterday. Got the other ones finished yesterday too. Once I get this bend here finished, then I can cut and weld in the braces, the front to rear braces. And then I'm going to, I got to drill out for the hinge here, and I'm actually going to see if I can use my dad's router. I'm going to try and router this piece down 1/16 of an inch so that will sit down inside of the aluminum. And then when I skin over everything, this will go in between the 2 layers, and then I'll just have bolts down through it. Factory they're welded on because they're steel, but I can't really do that with steel and aluminum. So we'll be bolting it, and it'll work just fine. So that's what we got going on this morning, and yeah. All right, that actually didn't turn out too bad. This corner here, it's a little bit loose there. I'll probably try and massage that some, but also the welting that's in there is completely gone on that corner because the old hood used to rub there harder than everywhere else. So that'll help on that. Honestly, that fits probably better than any other factory hood I've seen, and I'm gonna go with it. I like it. All right, so we got our arches. I cut some spreaders that will be the side part of the frame. I'm gonna have to do a little trim right there, which I got lucky on the other side. It was just long enough. This side's a little bit too long, which is good. And actually looking at it, I need to re-arch that. There we go. I gotta reset that piece. But yeah, getting there. Alright, so I had to kind of change things up in the middle there. I had these pieces cut. They were going to be down here on the sides. I didn't like how wide they were, being 1.5 inches standing that tall, because I'm going to build my air intake box back here. So there we go. Back in here. And I'm going to put some dimple dyed holes in the side. Well, that 1.5 inches was going to stick up way too far. Plus, it only gave a 1/4 inch lip on the inside of the hood. Originally I bought this piece, it's right up there, that chunk of, I think it's 3/4 1/8 wall aluminum square. That was gonna be what I built this back piece out of, and I decided to go with this 1/4 wide for the whole thing, and so that's a spare. Well, I like that because I can actually notch it and weld it to this and give a nice 3/4 inch wide flat on the inside. So might end up doing that. The only problem is with that air box that I'm talking about is that puts a 3/4 inch lip that I have to try and seal around, and I don't really like that. So still kind of up in the air. Don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Trying to figure it out. All right, well, our most of our hood frame is done there, and I'm liking it. So I need to get some more material. I don't have enough to do what I need to do. And then once the frame for the hood is built, then I can skin it. And there's these relief cuts right here. I've got them in all 4 corners. Once I have the lower part of the frame on there to where holding it where it can't move, then I'll weld those up and grind everything and make it look decent again. But yeah, it's coming along. You know, having this part of the hood done, that's great. Once I get the whole frame done, that's way better. And then we'll get to skinning. The fenders will be pretty straightforward, pretty easy, because a factory fender, it overlaps right here. So I'll be able to do a lower plate and then an overlap over that and make it look kind of factory. I mean, that's a tube fender, it's not factory. Only reason for doing that is the distance from there all the way wrapped down to there is 50 inches and my sheet is 48 inches wide. So I'm gonna have to cut 4 smaller pieces instead of 2 longer pieces. And then the hood is, I got to get a better measurement on it now that everything is in place at the back here, side to side. I'll get a wrap length on that and probably add a couple inches to it to make sure that I don't end up too short. And then trying to get that thing wrapped is going to be not fun. If it was straight back, it'd be one thing, but it actually kicks out and there's a taper there. I have to mirror that on each side and try and do it all in one sheet. So that might be a real headache. That's why I haven't skinned the fenders yet, because if I screw up bad enough on the hood, I need to have enough material to try again. If you like what we're doing here, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually we'll get this thing done. And yeah. All right, it's a new day, everyone. Went to Lewiston, went to Gateway Materials, and I got some more aluminum. I narrowed it up a 1/2 inch on these side pieces, so that's 1/4 by 1 inch. I figured out what I'm gonna do for the air box. I'm still waiting on a boot to be able to get the air filter located where I want it. I need a 90-degree boot to kick it, and the filter's gonna sit here. Then I'll build the box to seal up to the hood when the hood closes, and then we'll do our dimple dies down the side of the hood so we can have good, fresh, clean air. I mean, about as clean as we can get and as cool as we can get, being on top of the fender. So that's the thinking there. But yeah, we'll get these side pieces welded in. Then I can weld up these seams where I had to cut it to angle everything. And then once that's all done, I'll pull the hood frame up. Actually, I'm gonna drill the hinge too, get all those holes drilled and ready. And then I'll pull the whole thing off. And I got that piece, got a mark laid out. This is gonna be our hood skin. We've got that much left, so, oh, I got hiccups, sorry. With that much left, we got enough to do our fenders and, you know, hopefully be able to do our center console and stuff like that and not have to get any more. But yeah, goal for the morning is get this hood frame done and go from there. Took 2 weeks, but they finally got me another bottle of argon as well, and it's just in time because the one on the weld cart has about, I don't know, maybe 100 pounds left in it. Figured I had a couple tack welds left is all. So I'll getting that out. I mean, yeah, I'm released to go back to work, but I'm still not wanting to lift a bottle. So I'll get it rigged up with the hoist, and I can pick it straight up out of the table, pick this other one up, set it in there, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we got our frame semi-welded. I got all the insides of all the stuff that I just did. And also, I want to drill that hinge, but where it's at is, you know, it's not a good spot to drill. Putting a lot of pressure on just those vice grips and stuff, they're gonna try and twist, and I won't get my holes lined up perfect. So I'm just gonna take the hinge off the cowl, unbolt it, I'll take the whole works over to the vise, and I'll probably weld it over there, and I'll drill it over there. Once my holes are drilled, then I'm gonna go get a router from my dad. I'm gonna router this back bar like I mentioned before, and recess that hinge into it so my skin will float over it, and you won't even really be able to see the hinge. It'll just be part of the hood at that point. You'll see the bolts through it, and that's what it has to be. I mean, the similar metals, we got steel and aluminum. You're not welding those together, so that's what we're working on right now. Okay, there's our whole hood frame. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys this. I don't know exactly what happened. You know, based on measurements, everything should be square, but that whole tub could be off just a little bit. My dad's Jeep is off like an inch, I believe, at the grill. His hood would overhang an inch further on one side than the other, and I'm about a 1/4 inch difference. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I'm gonna overlap the whole hood over the front just a little bit to kind of hide that reveal. And I had to offset the hinge. You know, I had it in tight and square, but I had to pull this side out just a little bit and reclamp, and that squared the hood up on the grill much better. So these old Jeeps, especially ones that have been cut to literally pieces and welded back together, you're gonna have some issues. It's not a race car, it's not a show car. We're building this thing for fun. So anyways, we got to drill the hinge, and then I got to hit the backside of all these welds and get them welded in, and then we'll probably start trying to skin it. All right, our hood frame is welded, drilled, bolted. The only thing I don't have done is the routering, because I don't have a router here. I will get that either tonight or tomorrow and have that done. But yeah, our frame is welded. Now it's just a matter of cutting that sheet and starting to try and form it, and try not to mess it up too much. But we'll see. Well, Dad just left. He was helping me try to figure this out, and well, we got close. The rear radius is really close enough that I could massage it and everything. Front radius being tighter and having to fit, that's causing problems. So I'm actually going to end up building a crude sheet metal brake off the edge of this table. I've got some 1/2-inch flat bar and some other stuff that I'm going to use to try and build something that I can maneuver this thing around on the table and just do little bends and try and massage that shape back how I need it. We haven't ruined the piece yet, so we decided to stop. And then hopefully that'll make doing the other side a lot easier. But yeah, it's not an easy shape to bend, and especially with this aluminum having so much spring back to it. We tried to anneal it. You know, I read online, put Sharpie on it and heat it up until the Sharpie burns off and goes clear. Well, you can kind of see where there used to be Sharpie on there, and it helped a little, but not enough. So it's unfortunate. I was hoping to have the hood skinned today, but instead I'm going to build a tool, and maybe by the end of tomorrow I can have it skinned. So we'll see. And yeah, wish me luck. All right, everyone, it's a new day, and got to sleep on it a little bit with this hood skinning. And last night before I went in, I don't think I videoed it, I noticed I was kind of like it was working, but I wasn't quite executing properly. So I changed it up a little bit, and it's actually starting to work. So I'll turn this around. So I got this side shaped, and this was the side I was having trouble with. Just a couple clamps. I'll be able to weld that on there, and I don't think it's going to try and spring my frame, which was what I was worried about. This front is actually really close. I need to make a couple more bends. Oops, there we go. A couple more bends in some of these straighter spots and try and soften this edge, because it's been hard since this was already kind of preformed. Normally you would just pull this thing through and make every bend in succession and work with, I have templates over there. But where this already had a bend in it, trying to get it clamped down on the table and everything was not very fun. So it is starting to work. Just a lot of messing around getting it to that point, but it's starting to look pretty decent actually. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, I threw a few more clamps on that side, and it actually pulled up pretty nice. I'm liking the fit. I'm gonna flip the whole thing over and see how it looks from the outside, see if it's bad, warped, creased, or anything like that. But yeah, we'll just see what we've got here. Turned out pretty decent. It's hard for me to get the, hey, it's gonna sit there. All right, I'll bring you over to look at it. So I was worried about creases because at the ends of the sheets, it was creasing a little bit, but like this here on the front, I'm cutting that back to about here. So that doesn't matter. And the back actually was pretty smooth to begin with. There is a little bit of creasing going on, and I might be able to try and work those out with a hammer and dolly, but I can definitely live with that. I'm happy. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I'll throw a couple tacks on it to hold it. No, because I got to be able to take it off to be able to bend this side. So I'm going to call that side good for now. I'll get this other side bent and get the whole skin laid on there, trace it all out, take it back off, do my cutting, and then we'll go to welding. I'll probably hit the underside of that with a DA before I put it on. That way I can get all that corrosion cleaned up and get a little tooth to it for some paint. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. You can tell by the smile on my face, that worked really well. I'm very happy with it. Got her sitting down. It does have a few hard spots on the back edge, which that's all right. The front edge is actually getting cut off. I'm probably gonna be able to massage those a little bit with hammer and dolly, but it is 6061 aluminum. That was the first side that I was salvaging. The second side is actually much better. It worked out better. It does have its crease lines in it too, but so does my factory hood. It has some crease lines in it. I don't know what this dent here is all about. You can see it there. So I'll try and work that out. This side is the side that we tried to anneal, and you can see where the heat kind of made it wavy. I'm gonna have to roll with it. I'm not gonna mess with it too much to try and fix that. I don't know that I'd be able to. So, but you know, for not knowing what I'm doing and just winging it, I really couldn't be much happier. I'm gonna pull that skin off, get it set up, and cut it with the skill saw. I probably won't cut the length yet of the hood. I got to get the sides cut off and probably tacked on, and then I can set it up there and see how things are actually gonna fit. Alright, let's set this thing back together and hope that I didn't cut it wrong. Go get all my clamps. this corner on that side is gonna be a bit of a chore to get it to cooperate very much. That was the front of the first side when we were trying to reef on things and get it to go where we wanted. It just didn't want to. The back's actually okay, not bad at all. It's just gonna take a little work up there, but so far I'm very happy with how this is all wrapping down and fitting. Besides, I can't find my 10th clamp. I have no idea where that thing is. It's in here somewhere, hiding. But yeah, it's laying on decent. I'm liking it. Just wish I could find that last clamp. I need it for that corner. And I got this set of vice grips. I can use that, I guess. Because I'm not using it to bend anymore. That's why that's fitting weird. All right, that's starting to look like a hood. So now that that's strapped in place, I already pre-drilled all the holes in the frame for the hinge. I actually need to mark all these out, or actually I'll probably try and just clamp it really well and drill all those out while it's in place. Then I can pull it back off. Dad brought me his old router. I'm going to use the router and countersink that hinge in the frame. That way this piece here will lay flat across it. Then I'm probably going to build a steel plate that goes over the top of that. So those 8 bolts will sandwich the steel plate through the hood skin into the steel hinge and then down into the 1/4 inch thick frame. So I was worried about being strong enough back here at the hinge, but I think that'll be actually way overkill for it, and it should be just fine. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Aluminum looks terrible because any little thing scratches it so easy, but I'm gonna fire up the sander and sand this whole thing anyway because it's gonna be painted. So we'll get it looking better here before too long, and I want to get it bolted on, set on the Jeep, probably tacked and set on the Jeep, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna cut this nose off, but I need to figure out how far past the frame I want to do that and what I'm gonna do. So it'll probably be a little while before I cut all that slack off there. That wasn't very fun. Hold on. There we go. That wasn't very fun. The router kept making itself deeper and gouging in and biting, but got a couple gouges, not too bad. Got the room that I need to fit that hinge down in there, so I think everything will be just fine. Just for fun, I picked up the 2 drops that I cut off the sides of the hood just to see how close they were in size. And they are within like a 1/16 of an inch of each other, pretty much the whole length. I can't hold them straight like this, but very surprised because I oversized the hood a little bit, measured some centers, and I figured my radiuses might not be exactly the same, gonna cause the sides to be quite a bit different. I mean, that could be the difference in me just screwing up cutting it with the skill saw, because I did kind of screw up cutting it with the skill saw. So very happy, very, very happy. Well, there you go, folks. That's first look at it. My first look too. No camera magic, nothing. I do see I'm probably gonna have to try and bend it in just a little bit back here. But now that everything's tacked on and that, I can maybe get a little bit more mean with it. This side looks good. But yeah, this front overhang, that's gonna get chopped down. Oh, well, it'll be chopped down to square it up, but also I'm probably gonna leave it with like a 1/2 inch overhang over the grill. We'll see. My dad's is like 1 inch, and I actually like the look of it too, so I might leave it overhung, might cut it back flush, I don't know. These back edges as well, they are not square because of the taper of the hood. The whole sheet shifted, so I actually have to cut a little wedge off the back of this, but I'm very happy with the fit. It looks awesome, and it weighs nothing. Cool.